Really great. So the project we have here is tied to establishment international information infrastructure collaborative allied student scholarship and network. And it's an initiative partnership between graduate students in the United States and Nigeria. In other words, we're trying to create a kind of a professional network between both countries and to foster scholarly work and possibly also help to provide scholarship formation students in both countries.
Hmm.
Yeah, so the goal of this project, as you can see, is for us to request support for international platform for the exchange of ideas and collaboration of research among library and information science. We do realize that a lot of professions, I mean, do have a platform here that creates um, or build students the profession, help them to actually get and skills before they become professionals within that very field. But in LIS, we don't have that in an international way. So we're trying to create that very platform whereby students in Nigeria and those also in the United States to actually contribute meaningfully to the growth and development of LIS to both countries. Now, this project will create a web forum for global networking and host an annual virtual conference for students. So our goal is to take this very plan that we have on ground already and place it online because it's an international kind of project and we like to start with means whereby we don't have any kind of barrier due to geographical location. So we have our conference for the opportunities being placed online for both students, I mean students in both countries to actually get in touch with. So we can have video conferencing online, we can have research guides and research papers and you know, students also turning in their ideas and research papers online. Yeah, it could be actually accessible by anyone, anywhere. Though this project will begin with only two nations, our plan in the future is to have it, expand um, into different countries all over the world. Countries that might like to also start off with LIS kind of schools and other students within the profession. We want to get in touch with them and try to create that collaboration.
Right. And the emphasis is really on the students and the educators, um, rather than just international librarians in general. We understand that IFLA offers some services for international librarians, but it doesn't offer a lot for library school students and library school educators. It also doesn't offer a lot for your average librarian who maybe not doesn't think a lot about international issues. It's really focused on people who have a strong interest in international issues, rather than saying this is what you do well. How could we help uh, bring some of your skill set and bring that knowledge to other parts of the world? It's really focused on just the international entities and people who are interested in those international entities working together, rather than seeing these relationships that can occur over distances, which is not possible with the technology infrastructure we have today.
Exactly. And that's what Brady just said. Sometimes we feel like the students are being left behind. Okay, they don't get to know what is required of them to do as professionals. I mean, future professionals. Not until they get out of the school system and they start looking for job opportunities or they start, trying to find a way to practice whatever skills they have actually learned back at school. And then it becomes a little bit difficult for them to blend into the professional system. Why? Because the platform for them to actually practice, in a sense, the research skills they have gotten, the information skills they actually got back at school wasn't there. So that platform is what we're trying to create. and foster that very unity as well, which we believe is going to help the LIS system in general, not just the students alone. Yeah. So I will have Brady talk a little bit about how this very project is going to benefit both.
So there's several ways where this project would benefit both countries, but let me tell you a little bit about our library school in particular, Emporia State University. Geographically speaking, in the United States, it's located in the Midwest, as far as away from either coast of the United States as you can possibly be, smack dab in the center of the country. However, we do have pretty good international relationships, fortunately, thanks to a generous grant that we received several years back. And we've had quite a bit limited beyond that. We did have a history, however, with Nigeria at the library school at Emporia State from the late 1980s through mid 2000s. And he had a grant project called the Nigeria Project in the late 1990s and early 2000s that connected 3 library schools in Nigeria. They were all kind of located in the same geographic area there in Nigeria. It connected them with the library school at Emporia State, and it also involved some of the involvement of the American Library Association and public libraries in Denver and Kansas City helped a little bit as well. But it was very geographically tight, I guess you could say. It focused on very specific regions within the United States and within Nigeria as well, rather than trying to make a broad-based approach that really considered everybody living in those countries. And in my opinion, I mean, what he did was absolutely great and a very great step. But I find it hard to have a true international partnership unless everyone in the nations is involved.
Yeah.
And so that's the approach that we want to take. We don't want this to just be a relationship between Emporia State University and a few library schools in Nigeria, hoping it can be rather broad. And we hope to do that by kind of breaking away from the labels of what library school you belong to. Of course, that's important to have that relationship with your library school, but at the same time, we're all kind of together in the fact that we're all library school students and we all want to interact. And when we put ourselves in these little boats of library schools, we kind of forget that fact, I think. And so we really want to expand this beyond just Emporia State, even if that has to be where it starts because of convenience. We want to reach out to other library schools. But we think the ways that benefits us and benefits library schools in Nigeria as well is it broadens relationships among library school students within their own nations as well as internationally. That's the goal, is to have that kind of outreach where they can interact with other library school students even within their own country, because we just don't have a strong network for that. Like in the United States, we have student library organizations, but they're based on your library school. So you're still interacting with the same students that you have in your classes. You're not interacting with this broader kind of global infrastructure and pool of library school students and learning from them. You're still in the same homogenous group and interacting with the same people you always do. So we think a project like this expands horizons and introduces people to new ideas. Because I feel, in addition, I think this is the second way it helps, is that there's really a stagnation of student research. And kind of not a lot of passion for student research in general. And those who do conduct research as students tend to be those who are fortunate enough to get support for students to conduct their own research and get out there and promote their work and do things that will help them um, get their name out there and get better job opportunities, which is something they really want and something I've been trying to do throughout my educational career. And I'm very excited about a potential opportunity we'll have at a regional library conference this upcoming semester, where I was able to get together a bunch of library school students to potentially do a presentation, but a lot of them just don't know where to start, and that's the problem. And having a library student organization that can provide information on how to do research specifically, and that is international, and so it introduces these new ideas that could potentially spark new research and provide opportunities for service, is really the aim of this organization and the direction we want to take it. We want to help students kind of realize that they can be, I don't know if self-sufficient is the correct word, but in a way, they can independently go out and do research. It's possible for students, especially in library science, to do that, and they don't have to rely on hoping a professor will pick them to work on a research project with them. It's possible to do meaningful work and contribute to the field as a library science student without having to be fortunate enough to work with a professor. So we hope to provide those resources, and of course, I think that would be very evident that it would benefit library school students in every country if we could even achieve partially of what we're hoping for in that area.
Yeah, really. And to add to what you just said, it reminds me of when I got admitted into the airlines back in my home, the graduate of technology. I felt like, well, we are just on our own as students. I mean, there wasn't a sense of belonging because we never had a national library science students association, and that makes me feel so lonely. I mean, it's kind of weird, especially when you have computer science students, you have cybersecurity students, going
Mhm.
out for conferences within the country, and then you don't even have any. You feel like, wait a minute, where do I really fit in? But when we have a global kind of network for LI students, it gives them a sense of belonging. They see themselves in
Mhm.
the future. And I think that in a way is a lot of encouragement, not only to the students, but also to the LIS system. And it's going to really boost the numbers of students that might likely want to go into the profession. And I think that's very, very a great benefit the entire
Mhm.
profession as librarianship, they say it is. Yeah, so next we're going to talk about how NLA will come out and help us out in these. I think when Brady and I were talking together, um, the first thing that actually came to our mind was to contact interested professionals, professionals that are going to be more interested in the project. And I mean, who else are you going to contact if not the NLA and also ALA and some other bodies that are actually related to librarianship? So we felt like we need NLA to come up and create that very communication with us, which we have already started. And God for Dr. Opara, the president of NLA, very wonderful man. He has done a very good job trying to connect with students back in Nigeria. And he saw the need also to connect with us, Brady and I. And that's so remarkable. And I'm so happy that he was able to extend the hand of fellowship within the need for the project. And we would like him also to connect us with relevant people within the NLA who will be interested to help out in the project, give necessary ideas as we continue to progress within the project. And we would like, you know, any contribution at all, any contribution in terms of ideas that would actually help to build up the project. Um, this is highly welcome if NLA could actually come up with that. Because right now we are presently in the actualization stage of the project. The first thing we try to do is to, um, you know, try to sell out the project out to ALA in the form of giving a grant, different international kind of lecture coming from Nigeria, from the United States. Here we had um, Mr. Sagir, the director of the American Center, the former American Information Resource Center at the American Embassy in Abuja, Nigeria. We had him come to have an international lecture with us, fellow students here at STEAM, and we had Dr. Agada also coming up to give a lecture. Dr. Agada is the present librarian of Benue State University, and he also works here in the United States. He's on a work leave, I guess. And we had President G, the ALA president, also had kind of a lecture with us here at SNAIM. And we felt like we have already started off in a kind of good note, creating that very international sense of connection with students.
Mm-hmm.
We have been having relevant communication with the students, LI students in Nigeria. I believe Dr. Obara is fully aware since he was actually added to the WhatsApp chat group of the LIS students in Nigeria. He is fully aware of all the progress that I've been sending to them as an update once in a while. So we also need help to promote the project via necessary publicity. We'll be glad if once in a while, meetings as a committee or even conferences that might be held, if we can actually feature to promote this very idea that we have come up with, this very project on those different platforms that we could be given the opportunity to do so. We'll be glad to come over and have conference talk or even presentation as the case may be in Nigeria. And we'll also be glad if NLA would send a delegate to come over to ALA, or delegates actually, to ALA conference that will be holding in New Orleans on the 21st to 26th of June this year. And then we'll be so glad to have them come over and share their ideas. And I think it's going to be a means of publicity, and that will send a very strong message to both association, ALA and NLA, that the project is going to be achievable. It's something that is very, very much visible. Yeah, so that's what we are hoping. That's where we are hoping that NLA will come in and play a major role. But we don't mind if there are any other ideas or assignments that we have talked about that NLA could actually contribute. So grateful. Whatever help or whatever idea, whatever counsel that we could actually come up with. It's highly. Really, I don't know if you have anything to say.
Yeah, so we believe that we have pretty substantial interest in both nations, to be honest. In the United States, there's quite a few, particularly professors, also some students from Nigeria who we believe are interested in the project. But really, part of our goal is also to get individuals who are native to America to participate as well. And that's what we will try to do on our end as far as recruiting more individuals to participate in the project, which we believe we will be able to accomplish fairly easily. Like Daniel said, that the trick might be getting people who are currently in Nigeria, because geography helps a lot in recruiting and being able to talk to people in person and answer their questions and have that kind of discourse with them to discuss different parts of the project and how they can participate is very important. So we hope that the NLA might be able to help in the regard of just making this more visible and bringing it to the attention of individuals who could benefit from the project.
Yeah.
And a big part of the project, a major component, is trying to make this a free network um, for conversation, sharing of ideas, sharing of videos and lectures. A big component of it is making sure that everything's free for everyone involved. We're trying to reduce costs as much as possible, and any costs that we might potentially incur, we want to cover by grants or through our own funds. Um, we don't want to be asking any members for money because they're library school students again, um, and they already struggle financially, and we don't want to have any really strong relationships with any one particular library, school, or organization, because we do want everyone to feel like they're treated equally and have an equal opportunity to participate. And
Exactly.
so that's a major component as well, is having this platform for research and sharing of ideas, and making sure it's accessible to anyone who wants to participate. And that includes beyond just the United States and Nigeria, even though that's the starting point. If somebody from beyond those two countries wants to participate, we will gladly allow them to do so. So,
Yeah, so Dr. Para, we are so grateful that you're taking the time to listen to what the project is all about and how we think NLA could come into about. We'll be glad to actually receive your response. Quite unfortunate, we do know that the internet connection, especially internationally, is not very encouraging to have video conference meeting most times. And that's the reason why we have set this up. We're glad to actually receive your response either as a video record, recorded video, or you could actually send an email respond in terms of ideas you think will be relevant to the development of the project. And as we are preparing for the NLA and ELA conference conversation started, that will be 2020. Am I right? Really? Is it 2020?
mhm.
Yeah, so we would like to know if there are ideas you would like to share with us ahead of that time, and how we think NLA as a very strong association will help out to bring this great project to the young. We love to hear from you because we hold you in mind that Brady and I would be in touch. Thank you so much. Brady, I don't know if you have anything.
Yeah, so some specifics, I guess, that we'd be interested in knowing, both from you now and hopefully from you and several other individuals during the conference. Kind of the point of our conference session, I suppose, is to know how to best deliver this. And so we have some ideas for different types of services, websites, things that we could create to best distribute this platform. Because I think both in Nigeria and the United States, I can say there's areas where technology can be problematic. And we live in, I mean, Emporia State is in a relatively rural area. Emporia has pretty good internet service, but if you get, 50 miles out of Emporia, then you can struggle with internet.
Yeah, I think we just had a kind of an internet connection fluctuation on the
Have anything that can help improve the quality of what we're putting on our website or whatever technology we decide to go with would be incredibly beneficial. Currently, we have some different research Daniel and I have been working on, um, and I'm trying to make as much as the work that I'm doing that I feel I have the copyright to make freely available. I want to make available on that website, open source, open whatever, uh, open access,
no.
so that that can be available. I also think creating like blog posts or quick videos that can be uploaded onto the site um, would be beneficial. Little lectures. Um, if we could just get some distinguished speakers in both nations to just record, it doesn't have to be live, but a 10-minute video just showing their experiences um, as a library school student and about their research, kind of to spark interest in different areas of inquiry in the field of library and information science
Yeah.
and technology, that could be immensely beneficial. And so what we're really looking for at this point, I think, in addition to kind of that outreach and advocacy help in the nation, is just refining the ideas and knowing what would work best as far as the technology and the delivery of all the different ideas and information that we have to offer.
Yeah, so we'd be very grateful, President Obara, if you could actually help us with the contact of NLA members that will be coming over for the New Orleans yearly conference at New Orleans. We'll be glad to actually create that very communicate with them before they come over so that when we're having the conversation starter, proper itinerary stream for them. We'll be glad also to see you live. I mean, have a talk with you. And, I think Brady might have actually seen you. I'm not sure if you're actually the one he saw.
Well, so I cannot remember who it is, but I did a little presentation
Yeah.
on the dark web,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody came up to me, I think it was afterwards.
Okay.
I cannot recall where they said they were from inside of the country, but I know they were from Nigeria, and it's just bothered me ever since because I think they might have given me a business card and I just misplaced it. But I hope I can find whoever that was, but I'm still looking.
Yeah, it's okay. So
I
thank
know
you.
it's somebody from Nigeria that had to do with libraries. So
Yeah, exactly. So thank you very much, President Obara, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. We'll try to call you on the 9th of June as we have earlier agreed via the online. And hopefully we'll take it up from there. Thank you.